What's going on, everybody? It's Master Rating, episode number 4, and we're talking Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. This is about the time where the movies really take a gigantic down spiral for me, and I mean giganto. But we do got to shut up notifications. We got some stuff to talk about here today, obviously, with it being Halloween within 3 days. Or I guess it would be, 2 days. I don't know how many days, when this is coming out. I don't fucking know. But I do know that Master Rating's been on hold for about 2 weeks, or however the fuck long it's been. We've had World Series, we've had NBA season starting up. We've had a lot of things going on. So Master Rating was kind of it was on cruise control for the meantime, but it did not mean that I wasn't working on it, because we're dropping 3 episodes this week. That's right, 3 episodes, Monday through Friday. You're going to get Nightmare 4, 5, and Freddy's Dead. And then next week, we will wrap up the entire Nightmare on Elm Street collection after we drop Wes Craven's New Nightmare. My plan was to review more of the horror genre for the month of October. Unfortunately, things didn't pan out that way. It was a good reason, though. The Red Sox, they just kind of won the fucking World Series last night. No big deal. No big fucking deal, right? So I kind of had all that going on, and to be honest with you, I bring the bold. Hashtag bring the bold. I bring the honesty here. I really didn't give a fuck about Master Rating. My sole attention was primarily on the Red Sox winning the World Series. And I feel like that's why the fans I do have are very loyal to me, because they know I'm going to tell you straight what's going on. And I'll be straight up right now with you. I didn't release Master Rating episode number 4 when I said I would, because the fact of the matter is I cared more about the World Series. And that's where my attention was. Blogging, podcasting, tweeting, doing whatever we had to do to rally the fucking Red Sox to win. But that is not why we're here today. We are here because it is a brand new episode of Master Rating, episode number 4, the ever-growing popular series here on JB Sports Radio. They love it because it's something different. They get enough sports uploads daily, so it's nice to occasionally get something different. And that different thing is a movie podcast. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. Of course, this is your first time listening. Did I just say time? Like a bunch of N's in there? If this is your first time listening on iTunes or YouTube or wherever you guys are listening, please hit the subscribe button so you get every single one of these shows automatically downloaded to your device. Leave a 5-star review. And if you want access to our entire catalog, go to, you get it right there on iTunes, but you can get it even more over at jbsportsradio.com. We also blog over there. Really good blog up on the Halloween sequel by D Moon. He could use some love for his blog, because him and his Dodgers are in a hellhole right now after getting squashed like a bug. Kind of like in Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Squashed like a bug, the Red Sox did to the Dodgers. But anyways, hit the subscribe button. That way you get each one of these Master Rating episodes automatically downloaded to your device. And also follow us on Twitter at JB Sports Radio. All right, guys, when we left off from Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, which is my favorite of the entire series. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you don't think it's the first one. Well, if you've been following us on the ratings, I gave Nightmare on Elm Street 1, the original, a 7.7. out of 10. There is no different scale here. We rate everything the same. Okay? There is no category for comedy, no category for horror, action, whatever. It's one category. That's the trick to Master Rating. Okay? So, 7.7 may sound low for Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, for you diehard horror fans, but this is in the entire movie universe. And a 7.7 out of 10 is fantastic. And I gave Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, I gave it a 5.1. And then The Dream Warriors, I gave a 7.9. So a 0.2 increase from the original. When we left, you had the asylum of the kids who were their parents were the ones that torched Freddy. It ended with Nancy sacrificing herself to kill Freddy. And then the show just kind of, the movie series takes off. Kristen survives. I can't remember the black kid's name. There's Joey, and I can't remember the other guy's name. But those were the 3 that survived, and of course the professor, who never does come back in the series. So the show ends, they kill Freddy, and then Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is a weird one with me. Now, a lot of people, I think the majority of people don't really think that Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is that good. in comparison to its fucking what succeeded them in The Dream Child, which to me, listen, I'll get to those when I get to them, but a lot of people really hate 5 and Freddy's Dead, which is the 6th installment. This one, I definitely like this one better than 5 and 6. 6 being Freddy's Dead. But it's still really not good. And I'll go into those reasons. Now, there's only one, two really good kill scenes. I had it written down here. I just corrected myself. There's 2 really, really cool kill scenes that I'm a huge fan of. But this one is so weird because Kristen from the Dream Warriors was the new sort of patriarch. She was the new Nancy. So when she survived in the Dream Warriors, she was going to send the series, of course, off. I mean, obviously they thought they killed Freddy, but you never fucking kill Freddy, ever. So she was going to be the new patriarch, right? The new alpha. But what's weird in the Nightmare on Elm Street 4 movie, get ready, people, because it's spoiler time. So you had her, the black kid, and Joey, who were the sole survivors from that group of kids from the Dream Warriors. So in Nightmare on Elm Street 4, it takes place after all that happens. Kristen is still the main character, and she randomly, the movie starts off, she's in a dream, and then and here's the biggest turnoff right out of the gate, is Kristen is not played by Patricia Arquette. Huge. It's played by Tuesday Night, which also opened up the show. That's her singing that song, and she plays Kristen. I mean, that's a huge turnoff for me when you just switch up a goddamn main character with somebody completely different. Doesn't even look like her. You can't just find a blonde broad and say, that's her. No, that's not how that works. You couldn't bring Patricia back, which I know why she didn't want to come back. It was a garbage fucking script. But the guys who played Joey and then the other big guy, they probably could use the payday. So they're like, fuck it, I'll be in a new Nightmare on Elm Street. It's a lot of press. It's a big movie. I'll do it. But they had a different Kristen. Same 2 guys from the 3rd movie, new Kristen for the 4th movie. So the movie starts off, she's in a dream, and then she calls the 2 guys back into the dream, because that's Kristen's power. Is she's able to, in her dream, when she's being chased by Freddy, she has the ability to pull people into her dream to help her survive. So after, I think a year is the time frame. It may be longer than that. But she pulls in the 2 guys again into the dream. They're like, shit, dude, not again. And, you're doing this shit again, Kristen. Why are you doing this? Blah, blah, blah. But here's where the movie is a giant turnoff. So, prior to the big turnoff, she's got a group of friends. She's got this chick named Alice, who ends up being very special. The guy she's dating, a chick who, she's like this tough chick, she's always wearing black, and she lifts weights and all this crap. And then they have this nerdy black girl who's got real bad asthma. She drives a fucking scooter to school. And then there's the big jock. There's always the big jock named Dan, who would also be the next big character in the series. So the big turnoff for me was this movie, within the first, I think, half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. And the movie only got a runtime of an hour and a half. In the first 10 minutes, they kill off the 2 guys from Dream Warriors 3. The black guy and Joey. They kill both of them off. They kill the black kid in They kill him in the junkyard, which they revisited from Nightmare 3 because that scene won an award or something. And then they kill Joey in his bed. They go back to that move, except it's not like when they killed Glenn and they just pulled him into the bed and spewed about 80 gallons of blood everywhere. This time, Joey, like in Dream Warriors, this dude is all pent up. This dude needs to knock him off a piece of pussy because he's always just all about the women. Listen, I'm not knocking him. This guy is one horned up son of a bitch. He was banging that fucking nurse chick at the hospital and almost got him killed. Well, this time he's sitting on his bed. He's looking at some fucking magazine and watching TV. Then he looks on his wall and he sees he's got a Playboy model up there or something. Well, then he starts dozing off. And he hears something underneath his waterbed. So he pulls the sheets back to look into his waterbed. And the chick from the poster is in the waterbed, naked, smoking hot. He looks back at his poster. She's gone from the poster. So he's like, oh my God, titties and pussy. Yeah, I'm down for this. So he's like banging on the thing because he wants to bang her. And then out of nowhere, she dips back down under the water. And up comes Freddy Krueger. And he grabs a hold of Glenn and he says, how about this for a wet dream? And which is a great line. I put that at the beginning too. Very great line. And he pulls him down. He kills Joey. Both of them get killed off. Kristen starts realizing that Freddy is obviously back. He's killing her friends off. And then, this is the really big turnoff for me. As if it wasn't already that they're having a new Kristen. They decide that now is the time. Kristen's mom, Andale, that fucking annoying bitch, she drugs Kristen's drink at dinner. She falls asleep. Kristen yells at her mom. She said, congratulations, you just fucking murdered me. Kristen falls asleep. In her dream, she asks Alice for help. And Freddy kills Kristen. Throws her in a giant oven. She's burning alive. And then she gives Alice the power to pull people into her dreams. That's how they killed off Kristen. And to me, it was like, they were just completely trying to kill off any fucking former part of that lore. All the people tied to the Freddy Krueger killing, the children and all that. They killed them off in like a half an hour. Kristen, dead. Joey, dead. Big guy, dead. Killed them off. And they introduced, lo and behold, her best friend Alice as the new patriarch to the film. She is the new lead. Kristen is gone. Nancy is gone. Now they're going with Alice. And this chick it doesn't work for me. It just does not work. I mean, the fact they brought those guys back just to kill them off within a half an hour, just a huge turnoff. I don't like it. I don't goddamn like it. Well, then Alice's goofy-ass brother, who was fucking Kristen, he's some dweeb who's into, like, martial arts and shit, and he's a goddamn goofball. Then you got Dan, the big jock guy. He's whatever. He's the big, good-looking, dumb jock bastard. And then you had the nerdy black girl, right? Cool character. I liked her. Then you had the chick who, like I said, lifts weights. She's the big, tough chick, blah, 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 blah. So where do I pick up from here? Because I don't want to talk about the whole fucking movie. So obviously they start getting knocked off like flies. So I'll bring up the first one that I think wins second place for best death in the movie. That would be the nerdy black girl. She falls asleep in class, right? And she's got asthma. She's got real bad asthma. And she's in the class with Alice at school. The teacher, they're all taking a test, but those two fall asleep. Alice kind of pulled her into the dream. And Freddy is sitting at the teacher's desk, and he's slicing up an apple. He peels the apple. He throws it. He gets up. He walks over to the nerdy girl. He picks her up, and he says, hey, sweetie, you want to suck face? And he moves towards her, and he starts making out with her, and he sucks the life out of her to the point where you see her hands, her body, her face just literally deflate like a balloon. Just sucks the literal life out of her. And then when he's done, he just throws her aside like she's a deflated blow-up doll. It's actually a really cool kill scene. It probably looks cheesy now, but I just watched it for the second time in 3 weeks yesterday during the morning, and I like it. And I think it wins second place. I like the creativity of that death scene. So that bitch dies. Well, then they kill off Alice's brother. He's the big martial arts guy, and of course, when he falls asleep, he's wearing the fucking, the Japanese, fucking whatever you call it, the Japanese bandana because he's karate. He gets into a karate fight with Freddy Krueger, but Freddy Krueger's invisible. He's saying all those cheesy-ass lines like, you should be able to hit with, while not using your eyes, or you should be able to, sense your enemy. So, whatever. They get into a big fight. He ends up kicking Freddy's ass, and when he can't see him, he kicks his glove off. Well, then Freddy's glove just fucking takes off like a son of a bitch and just stabs and kills the brother. Whatever. He's fucking dead. Oh, I did forget to bring up the fact that Kristen, by the way, I got to go back to her because there's a really sweet scene where she falls asleep and she's on the beach and she's in a bikini and she's hot. What can I say? She is smoking hot, and there is a Freddy Krueger fin coming out of the water like a shark that charges after Kristen and blows up a sandcastle. It's a wild movie. It is a wild movie, people. Anyway, so they kill off the fucking brother. They kill off the nerdy girl. So then you're left with Alice, Dan, and you have the tough chick, right? Now, at the beginning of the movie, when all the kids showed up to school, back when Kristen was still alive, too, she was eating something. I can't remember what it was. She was eating some weird fucking chips or some sort of weird, like, they look like fortune cookies. She looks down, and there's a bug on it. I don't know what kind of bug. Looked like I don't know what it was, but it was a bug. So she throws it on the ground. She stomps on the bug. This would actually end up being some pretty poetic justice for the bug, in a way. So the number one death scene in this movie was when this tough chick who's lifting weights out in the garage to the song that will be closing the show out, Fart Coming. Whoa. Yeah. So she's working out. That stinks really bad. She's working out, and she kind of falls asleep, and she's lifting. She's bench pressing, and she pushes it up. She brings it back down. She pushes it up, and in the weight, the silver weight, you see the reflection of Freddy. So obviously Freddy goes around and he acts like he's going to spot for her, but instead he pushes down on the bar. She starts to fight back, pushing the bar up. He keeps pushing it down and down and down and starts to, push it down past the back of her head, and her fucking elbows just completely rip out of the fucking bones and everything. She's just got these two floppy fucking, look like, pizza slices where you rip the toppings off. She just has these flappy ass arms where he just snaps. It's actually legitimately gross. It looks really gross. Holds up really well. Then the weird part is she sits up on the bench press and she flings her arms forward and they just fall off. Then she starts growing like little stems, like a bug. And she starts going down this long hallway and she's turning into a bug. She's like, what the fuck is happening to me? Well, then she ends up walking in it looked like a sticky tape that you hang from the ceiling to catch flies and shit. Well, she steps in it looks like a glue board, like a glue trap you'd have for mice, but instead for bugs. So she steps in this giant glue board and she trips. She lands on her knees and then she trips forward. Shut up! She trips forward, and she falls face first in this goop. And she can barely lift her face, and she's screaming because she's running out of air. And then her face falls forward in it. And then she literally just hatches. Her fucking skin and everything just peels away, and she's just a big bug. Well, then, turns out she was in a very tiny little bug trap. And Freddy's holding the box. So she was just this itty-bitty tiny little bug in this bug trap. It was like a box, and it had the shit in it, whatever. And then Freddy squishes the box. And goo goes everywhere. So now it comes down to just Alice and Dan, right? The weird part of this movie is Alice inherits something from each person that dies. So from Kristen, she inherited the power of pulling people into her dreams. With the tough chick, she kind of inherited, her bracelet and stuff, so she got kind of the badass, look or whatever. From her brother, she was able to, use nunchucks in, an hour and was like some fucking Jackie Chan chick. She could do all kinds of karate and stuff. From the nerdy girl, she got this device that I think she made the device. What did she make that for? I can't remember. I think she made this device for the tough chick with the bugs. I don't remember. I really don't remember. So from the nerdy girl, she got that. I mean, she just inherits all these fucking powers. So at the end of the movie, she puts the bandana on her hand. She puts the bracelet on her wrist. That whole cheesy 80s shit. And then after she straps all this on, she decides she's going to go to war with Freddy. She says, fucking A. Very cheesy. So it ends with the showdown between Alice and Freddy. I don't even remember what happened. I don't even. It ends in a church. It ends in a church. She kills him by, I think, using his reflection. I can't remember if that's 4 or 5. I think it's 4. Yeah, it is. It's 4. She's like evil who sees itself, kills itself, or something. I don't know, people. It's not a good movie, right? Freddy dies. He sees his reflection. He starts to peel away. All the trapped souls in his body try to fucking rip away at him, and he's flinging back and forth. Pretty gross, by the way. So Alice and Dan escape. They get away. Freddy, they think, is dead. But, of course, it's not true at the end. Dan and her are sitting by this fountain. Dan gives her a coin. She flips the coin into the water. He says, "What did you wish for?" And when she looks at the water, you see like a guy in a red, sweater and the hook and the claws and everything and blah, blah, blah. So there you go. That is Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. I mean, it's not my thing. I like the movie. Like, I would watch it again. Of course, I've seen the movie like 20 times. But it's not one I'm like, hey, it's Nightmare 4 time. I mean, I feel that way when people are like, what about 5? I'm like, no way. No, I don't want to watch that movie again. It is bad. Really bad. Freddy's Dead is bad too. Nightmare on Elm Street 4, compared to those, is a 5-star movie. That's not what I'm giving it, by the way. But that is Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I'm trying to make sure there's not anything I'm leaving out as far as fun facts and shit. This movie was actually the first Nightmare on Elm Street that I owned on VHS. I remember it was one of the first VHS tapes that we had gotten, me and my brother, when we were young. And I still remember holding that VHS in my hand, just like, it was like in the big black box that opened up, kind of like the Disney movies did, except they were in like the white boxes or the colorful ones. But I remember I had that Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, in that big ass black VHS box. My brother never rewound that shit, but it was the first one I owned, so it's kind of special in a way. But it wasn't the first one I saw, though. It was not the first one I saw. That was obviously the first one. Parents weren't a fan of me watching it. Well, my dad was. He let me watch anything. Mom, not so much. But, there's a kind of a special little tie to this movie. But it's time to get down to the master rating of this show. So I gave Nightmare on Elm Street 2 a 5.1. That's important because that one is really not good. And before the show, I don't like doing this because I like doing it all on the air. It's very organic. But I got to thinking, it's like 2 is not good and neither is 4. It's a very easy choice that 5 and 6 are horrible compared to both 2 and 4. But when it comes to 4, I kept asking myself, which movie would you rather watch? 2 or 4? And it's really difficult because it's not that I don't like the second movie. It just doesn't have a lot of Freddy. And also they completely destroyed the Freddy Krueger kills you in your dream thing. Like, that doesn't exist in that movie, really. He just kind of hatches away, comes out of Glenn's body, and he's just magically in the real world. So in that sense, I like the death scene, the 2 ones I mentioned in 4. I like the story somewhat better. And I think because it has more Freddy in it, that I would pick 4 over 2. Which is really interesting because I never thought of it. I never broke it down like that. If somebody says Freddy's Revenge or The Dream Master, pick one. I think until today, before I was thinking, I probably would have snatched up 2. But once I put it in, I'd be like, oh man, I wish I would have watched 4. This doesn't have very much Freddy. And I'm not really a fan of the main character. So I think it really does come down to the fact that I like The Dream Master better than 2. So 2 out of 5.1. So this one barely edges out that one. But the fact of the matter is, it does stay true to the Freddy storyline, him killing you in your dreams. He doesn't come into the real world, just prance around, slashing people up like a Friday the 13th movie. So with that, I am going to give A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 a master rating of 5.5. Yeah, I feel good about that. 5.5 for Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I'm going to leave you guys with a very special song. A couple of them. One of them, a rap. Oh, yeah. I'm leaving you with Are You Ready for Freddy by the Fat Boys. So get ready. I think that's this movie, or is that the fifth one? I don't know. But I'm going to leave you with some tunes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in for episode number 4 of Master Rating, reviewing A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know on Twitter at JB Sports Radio what you thought. What's your rating? Let me know in the comments section. If you like this show, subscribe. Daily uploads right here on JB Sports Radio. Give us a 5-star review. Do the whole spiel. You know what I'm talking about. And, of course, if you want to hear these shows before they even air, you want to get them early because you just can't fucking wait, go to patreon.com/JBRadio. For as little as $1 a month, you get access to everything. Whether it's behind the curtain shit, bloopers, shows before they air, everything. It only takes $1 a month. I mean, you could donate $5, $10, whatever. But if you donate at least $1 a month, you get access to everything. There are no tiers over there. You get access to everything. That link is down in the description box below. And, of course, don't forget to go to jbsportsradio.com. All right, guys, I am JB. This has been episode number 4 of Master Rating. Hope you guys enjoy it. And I will see you I will see you next time for another episode of JB Sport. All over the goddamn place. Fuck it. Take me out.
you make your mind.